Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the gels now. Bon Patel has two gels. We'll be working with the all-natural gel. I think that you're going to find that this is going to have a much greater glide than oils because of the gelling agent. So we'll be using this on one leg, and we will be going on to the second leg, and I'll be showing how I might incorporate this with working with stones. And again, it's a personal preference if you want to use a gel or use an oil when it comes down to working with hot stones. Now again, this is going to be more based for Swedish work, or you're going to have to control the amount that you use if you want to do something that's going to be more specific in nature. Basically what it comes down to is what we're comfortable with, what feels best in your hands. You'll also find that if you're working with a male client and they have body hair, that you're going to have an easier glide with using a gel, even more so than working with an oil. So if you work with a lot of men, athlete clients, or however your population breaks down, a gel is a nice product to have when you have to be massaging over where there's body hair. Again, we're moving, the whole body's moving. I'm doing more connective strokes when I'm working with the gel. Alternating my hands, now moving my feet back. Again, get your body in the right position. Create space between you and the table so you can lean in with your strokes. And then I'm going to move on to the other leg, do a similar application, then working with both warm and cool stones. Now when you're working with stones, you're going to want to make sure that the temperature is introduced gradually. So the first stones that I'd be applying in almost any session are going to be warm, and then increasing the temperature as the body gets adjusted to the temperature change. When I apply a stone to the body, when you're working on the legs, you're going to want to work on the lateral aspect first. Outside the leg takes heat better. Always working with the back of my hand first so the client knows where that stroke's going to start from. Then I'm going to be turning that stone as I start to work with it. Helps keep rhythm into your work. Client should not know the difference or feel the stone when you're working with stones. They should just feel the temperature difference. And now that the stone has lost some of its heat, then I can switch to the inside hand to now work more medial. Again, watching the angle of my wrist, changing the stone from hand to hand, depending upon the area of the leg in which I want to work. One thing you don't want to do is cross here. You have no leverage. The stone no longer has any heat in it. I would never stop a stone on somebody's body like this, but I want you to see an angle that I don't want you to be doing with stonework. This hand, much better angle for you. And then you're going to go down into the lower leg. And again, I try to focus on having stones that are warm the whole time that I'm working. I always dry the stones off first to feel the temperature. These are a little bit warm, so I'm going to cool this one off slightly before I start using it. Since I've already worked on the upper leg, I'm going to go back in the same spot again because it's already received heat and it won't be as sensitive. Now I can come down to the lower leg. Be careful with the stone size that you're working with. You have the tibia here that protrudes. You do not want to run the stone over it. So just make sure your pressure is firm and slow, and you should not have that problem. Now I'll go to the inside of the leg. Stepping back and leaning in. I always turn the stone back in the direction I want it to start from. So now I want to bring the stone back. I'm turning it back into the direction where I want to start from. Don't need to flip it away. Here, I'll do on the outside of the leg. Just flip and goes. Gets right back into your palm. As soon as this stone turns, it goes. Don't stall it. This is an extension of my hand. That's the way stonework should be performed, at least for deep tissue or Swedish application. Then when I get done with that leg, I'm going to go ahead and use a cool stone, because I do not do hot stone massage. I either do hot and cold or cold by itself. So I'm going to get a little bit more of the gel, just a little bit, put it into my hands, rub my hands together. Because you still want this stone to be able to glide. And I tell my client I have a cool stone in my hand, so take a deep breath. And then when they exhale, it's when I apply that stone. And I usually hold the stone. I want to see if they're adjusted to the temperature. And as soon as I feel the body's relaxed, then I start to move it. You notice the pace is slow and firm with cool stones. It's a lot less challenging for the body to receive it when it's applied this way. And there's a nice glide with this gel right now. So we'll be working the same areas of the body that we did with the warmer stones. We have many more cold receptors than we do heat receptors. So if you go slower, they do not fire as fast. It doesn't become as uncomfortable for your client. Again, work with choice when it comes down to your body mechanics or with any product that you decide to use. Get the base knowledge and decide what's best. My body mechanics, I choose to work with one hand or the other. I don't do it out of habit. You start doing things out of habit, you'll end up hurting yourself. And then you don't know how to change it. So then we'll be moving on for the application of oil. So you've seen the gels now, the creams and the lotions. And now we'll do a little bit more work with the oil.